Evelyn Waugh was a 20th century English writer specializing in tales of social mores and human foibles. He often wrote about academia, landed gentry, and the politics of our human existence. In academia, he said, as students, we often spend our second and third year in college trying to get rid of the friends we made in our first year. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Why is it that in life, at work, and in politics, we're always trying to get rid of someone? We've all experienced this at work and socially. If I invite this person, then I know that person will not show up. Everyone wants to get along, but if we could just get rid of that one person, then everything would be so much better. The trouble is, as soon as we get rid of that one person, there always seems to be another person to get rid of, to take their place. Part of that is because these people are just so valuable, because without them, we wouldn't have anyone to blame. Some at Coffee Hour have suggested that being disliked is an indication that we're on it, and that we're a threat because we're so on it. I'm still working on that one, but more important, where is the message in that? Because people are against me, I must be on it. This is a distraction from trying to track down who's running for what the issues are, and holding elected officials accountable, while mitigating the ill effects of this really helpful backdrop of Republican versus Democrat, and Republican versus Republicans, and conservative versus liberal. Wow, it's all enough to make your head spin. I grew up in a small town which was considered conservative, and that was not something I thought was necessarily a positive thing as a child. But at the same time, I never experienced anything that I would describe as narrow-mindedness about it. It was a Democrat town with liberal-minded thinking, but conservative social mores. A friend of mine recently moved to Evanston, Illinois, and she describes Evanston as the worst kind of liberalism because it is essentially a very conservative town with the window dressing of liberalism. She says it's the worst possible combination imaginable. So back to the idea of getting rid of these people who see things differently so that things can be so much better. Well, luckily, thanks to the last census, representational districts in Illinois have been redrawn so that politicians can get rid of some of us, these annoying people, and get elected by the people they want in their district. So while we're all arguing about it, the political machines, both Republican and Democrat, have been plying their wares for their own benefit and not for ours. In this recent season of gathering petitions to get on the ballot, some political candidates are licking their wounds and regrouping, either to be slated or to change course. We applaud the initiative to fill candidate vacancy slots so that races do not go uncontested. But then we need to look at how these people will be qualified and able to fulfill the office if, for some reason, they do in fact get elected. This is where leadership, support, and accountability will be so important. In the coming weeks, we hope to hear from candidates and those supporting candidates. Evelyn Waugh is remembered by some as that funny little man in the black bowler hat. He was a liberal thinker and keen observer of life. He probably would have been a champion of every liberal cause in his own time, yet he lived his life within the conventions and framework of every moral and social virtue. He was smart enough to know the difference between the way things ought to be and the way things are, and navigating that liminal space between everything charming, life reaffirming, and lovely, and the challenging consequences of life. If you would like an invitation to Conservative Coffee Hour, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.